great news. Great news for UFC fans across the world. Jiri Prochazka calls out essentially as his next opponent for the undisputed UFC light heavyweight of a title. This was effectively contemporaneous to him winning the title against Glover Teixeira, and I mean, he looked at the UFC light heavyweight roster and looked at potential opponents and could not find anyone more worthy of being a challenger than the Polish power, Jan Blachowicz. When you look at it, Jan Blachowicz had actually fought Glover Teixeira and he lost. In fact, he lost his belt to Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira submitted him and became the light heavyweight champion of the world, right? And obviously, it's going to be hard for Blachowicz to get a rematch against Glover. If Glover would have won the bout against Prochazka, it would have been really difficult for him to get a rematch because he lost and he hasn't done really anything effective after his loss against Glover Teixeira. But he went in hoping Jiri Prochazka is going to beat Glover Teixeira, which actually materialized because the advantage that he had, Jan Blachowicz, was that if Prochazka could beat Teixeira, which he did, Jan Blachowicz is coming from a victory against Rakic via doctor stoppage, right? So there's no real contender apart from Jan Blachowicz for Jiri Prochazka. So Prochazka called him out and the fight is materializing, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, I've been waiting for this bout. I've called this bout out. I called it out since last year. I did. I called it out since last year. I thought it just made sense. You've got a Polish power with a devastating left hook, right? Incredible. I mean, he sends people to sleep. Ask Luke Rockhold. I mean, he devastated him. And Dominic Reyes as well. You can ask him. He had been knocking people out left, right, and center. I mean, and obviously Jiri Prochazka, just very dynamic. He can do it all. He can jump in. He can throw jumping knees. I mean, he can wrestle. I mean, effectively what he did was he wrestled against Glover Teixeira. No one was expecting that, and not just wrestled against one of the greatest jiu-jitsu black belts in UFC history, but actually tapped him out as well, submitted Glover Teixeira. You wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. So I think this is my analysis. This is my analysis of the fight. Effectively, looking at both fighters, obviously, Prochazka is a lot bigger. He's a lot longer as well. And I would say that at a fundamental level, Jiri Prochazka has all the advantages. He's a better grappler, as he displayed against Glover Teixeira. Clearly, he's a better grappler. So that's not even up for debate. So if Jan Blachowicz thinks that he's just gonna go in and try to take him down, like it's gonna be easy, clearly, he's gonna be disappointed. And standing up, Jiri Prochazka has more weapons. He's a better kicker. I mean, his front teeps to the body. It's just incredible. And overall, he's a better striker. The only department that Jan Blachowicz has an advantage over Jiri Prochazka will be his power. That's it. But apart from that, he doesn't have really any sort of advantages over Jiri Prochazka in terms of skill sets and just overall wrestling and fighting style. He just doesn't have any real advantages apart from power. And if Prochazka can nullify Blachowicz's power and even take his punches, then it's going to be a long night for Blachowicz. But if he can't and he's getting cracked like he was later on in the fight against Glover Teixeira, then he might be in big trouble against Blachowicz. So, it's a bit of a balance, to be honest. But wouldn't that be amazing, seeing the fight actually taking place in Europe, for example, somewhere in Czech Republic or in England? God, let's make it happen in London. Come on. That fight would be incredible in London, honestly. Think about it, as UFC fans, right? You know what I mean? The best place, for fights to take place is in London. In Europe, it's going to be easier for me to watch, to be honest. I mean, but I wouldn't mind watching the fight. I wouldn't mind the fight taking place in Prague in Czech Republic, or even in Warsaw in Poland, honestly. Either way, but since Jiri Prochazka is the champion, if it had to take place in either Poland or or Czech Republic, Prochazka makes the decision at the end of the day because he's the champion of the world, the light heavyweight champion of the world. The decision really comes down to him, right, ladies and gentlemen. But what are your views? What are your thoughts on Prochazka and Blachowicz? Who do you think wins and why? Who do you think is the better striker? Who do you think is the better grappler? Leave it down in the comment sections. To be honest, I want to know more about how you lot feel too. Anyways, but it's going to be an incredible fight. It really will be an incredible fight. You've got the Polish power and the Czech Republican power colliding together for the Battle of Eastern Europe, or for the Battle of Central Eastern Europe, if that makes sense. It's going to be incredible. Yeah, so new undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world. I mean, we've called it out. I mean, from the first time I saw him, it made his debut. I think his debut was against Volkan Oezdemir. I'm actually talking about Jiri Prochazka. When I watched his debut against Volkan Oezdemir, mate, like that 1-2 combination that he knocked Oezdemir out, you just knew something special, is happening right here. You're seeing something special with your two eyes. But you've even solidified that greatness against Dominic Reyes, former title contender, knocking him out cold with a devastating spinning elbow. I mean, you just could not complain. It was just absolutely pinpoint perfect. It was a thing of beauty, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you taking the time watching this video. So I know it's a short video. Make sure you just smash the like button down below, comment, and subscribe with the notification bells turned on. And have yourselves a good day. Night.